Guys, 2023 first round picks. Let's get a little state of the union here. What's their value looking like these days? We're in an obnoxious amount of leagues. Scott, start us off.
Well, they're getting traded more so than they were
Yeah.
a couple months back. I mean, how many times over the summer have we talked about how they've been impossible to trade for? But I've started to see more of a move. I mean, I think I mentioned even on the last stream that I've traded, I believe, 18 of my 23 firsts since rookie draft time, so May-ish. And a lot of those have been kind of what we've talked about on some prior shows of these are targeted trades where I've found teams where I'm comfortable trading my pick away. 14 team and 16 team leagues, I'm comfortable trading my picks away more so. Like that's just more of a betting on the gap between the 1 through 14 or 1 through 16 being a little more volatile for both sides. I mean, obviously, if you hit on a 101 in a 16 team league, like that's awesome.
Yep.
But if you end up with that random first, that's the 115, it's less awesome. So I'm willing to take bets on those leagues first if I have a team that I think can make the playoffs. And so I think we're now getting into the time where I think people have to start assessing their rosters. I've seen more flexibility on the first. Like a couple months ago, if you would have thrown out names like Devontae Adams for a first, people go, no way. Hell no. Now, part of that is just their trepidation of, well, he's moving away from Rodgers. We don't know what he's going to be. But all it took is a 48% market share game where he gets 17 targets. And now people are just convinced he's going to get 200 targets this year.
Yeah, right.
So he's immediately worth a 23 first. Now, is the 101 team that's in the running to get the first pick looking for Devontae Adams? No. But I think that the team that thinks they can make the playoffs or is contending would happily trade their 23 first. You guys would have laughed at a 23 first for Adams in June. But what's really changed with Adams? Like, his age hasn't really changed. He's 3 months older than he was back then. It's just, all it takes is one game. And I think we're going to continue to see that over the next couple weeks. Players that emerge out of the first month of the season, clearly that are good, clearly that looks like they're on a track to smash in 2022. All of a sudden, they're going to move in this range where they're worth at least a first, if not more. I mean, you got people out there saying they'll pay 2 firsts for Saquon Barkley because it looks like he's going to score 25 points per game. Not saying you should do that, but I think the market has opened up because people now see points available to them and they can talk themselves into the fact that, hey, I can trade my pick away. It's just one pick. You know, I have 5 leagues. I trade my one pick away. That's okay. I have a couple other picks in another league. So the market's opened up. They're getting traded more freely. And I'll let Shane talk, but then we'll talk a little bit about the class and how it's shaping up and where I think the pick values are going to go over the next couple months. So that's it. That's my state of the union.
The state of our union is strong. No, look, it's look, when we start counting points, things get different, right? It's just how it goes. And it's not. Yes, it is, Clay. My fan's a little loud. I'll hit that.
I could hear your fan, but I don't want you to be perspiring too much.
I don't want to pass out and die for your benefit. But anywho, so like Scott was saying, like what's really changed with Devontae Adams? Nothing other than now we've seen it. So now you have a reason to go, okay, everything's going to be okay. You know what I mean? It was the thought like, okay, well, Devontae's going to go there. Obviously, no one expects him to continue to get a 50% target share. But you go, okay, I can actualize what's going to happen. AJ Brown, hyped him up beyond belief, right? I'm like, look, he's fine. Like it's not a worse situation. It's probably better. He's with his bestie now. But until it happens, you know what I mean? It's still just speculation. And even just one game goes, it happens. And the fact that it happens lets you know that, like, all right, this is something that can continue to happen. Maybe not at this scale, but guess what? Now AJ Brown, who was a borderline guy, was like, well, I'd probably give up a 23 first, but I don't really want to. Now you go, all right, he jumped the shark. I go out there and I see Saquon Barkley, and he looks like Penn State Saquon Barkley, and I'm like, 23 first. I'm giving it up for him. It's mine. There's a great chance this 23 first is going to be late now when I add him to the roster. It might not be. Yeah. I mean, it's just a flip that you make, right? When the season starts, you have to be able to do this. You have to. We know it that, look, the seasons change and the values change and your thought process has to change with it too. Because, look, I love collecting love collecting draft picks. I will trade every last one of them this year if it gets me titles
to win a title,
without a doubt.
Exactly. Yeah, this guy was messaging me on, it was either TikTok or Instagram, was like, should I give up a 23 first for Saquon? Or he looked at that reel, and it's like, yeah, man, it's point scoring season. He's like, what about a 23 and a 24? I was like, it'd be nice if you could get a 24 second kicked back, but also let's be careful because it was tough to get a single first for him, a little while ago. Now all of a sudden, here we are like slinging first. But anyway, no. So would you give a 23 first projected late for Jalen Waddle right now?
No.
Yeah, see, and this is where I'm using my player evaluation skills that Scott hates. I like Waddle. I think Waddle's going to be really good. So I would do it. And I'm clearly banking on, I think he's going to be a top 15 dynasty wide receiver. Would you trade a 23 first? Or let me not do a 23 first. Would you be happy with a DJ Moore-esque type of career? Like, is that worth a random rookie first round pick? Take out 23 of the equation. Just a random first round rookie pick. Would you have been happy with that?
Yeah.
If you didn't,
I'll take it.
If the hype didn't accompany him, and we thought he was going to be a D wide receiver one.
I mean, here's the thing with the Waddle trade. I even advocated trading 23 first in certain spots on certain teams for receivers on efficient offenses that I think could finish top 24. He probably fits that criteria. Maybe not the efficient offense, but I think the top 24 part is in the range of outcomes, right? It comes down to, and this is something that I haven't really paid as much attention to as I am right now, but I've gone through, just week 2, I'm setting all of my lineups, and it almost comes down to, if you have already enough players that fit in certain ranges to set your lineup, what is the rush to trade for a wide receiver 20 right now? Now, and we've talked about this with some prior trades of, should I do this trade or should I not? I mean, Shane, we've talked about this on the roster reviews tons of times. Someone says they have an offer. Should I take it or not? Part of the psychology of that is that might be the best offer that you get. So you might say, you know what? I might be able to get better. In fact, why am I going to buy this product now when they could come out with a better product in a month and it's going to cost the same amount of money? But what if they don't come out with a better product? What if that is the best deal you're going to get and you're buying potential usability earlier in the season? So I think it is a push and pull. My pushback is I'm aiming higher for my 23 first than Jalen Waddle. I'm okay buying Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, a difference-making tight end, an upgrade at quarterback. I just don't want to spend it on a wide receiver too, because I almost think I can go and find a cheaper, less insulated version of the same thing, and I maybe just give my 24 first, or I give a second in 23 and 24. So that's the hesitation. Is it a fair deal? Yes. Most people would say, oh, give me Waddle. He's going to be good for 5 years. If he's wide receiver 25 for 5, who cares?
Yeah. So instead, tack that 23 first onto an existing player you have and, tier up.
Yeah. And if you can do that,
maybe that's the better move.
And honestly, if you can do that, yeah, do that. Like, you should always be aiming for like absolute sledgehammers, right? But it's comparable to, so I'm a big phone geek, right? And one of the big problems with being a big phone geek is you are literally always hearing about not the next phone, but the phone after that. So you almost never want to buy the newest hotness, because you're like, yeah, but in 6 months, they're coming out with this phone and the resolution and the nits on it are just going to be you're not even going to be able to, and the processor is just going to be so much faster. And it's not noticeable. You don't notice it from one phone to the next within a 3-month span, but you almost never want to pull the trigger. You're right. And you're like, I don't want to. I could wait for the next one. Before you know it, the phone you have is 6 years old because you keep waiting for the newest, and you can't. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I gotcha.
I look at my roster the same way. And we've talked about this in each of our chats, HQ and the Dynasty and Chill patrons. Go join them today. Where perfect is the enemy of good, right? Sometimes you always want the perfect trade, you do, but sometimes you will take the good so that it will move your roster forward.
Right. Let's throw this up here. Greg Oswald, thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate that. 12-team PPR start 10 Superflex. Looking to compete next year. Acquired Tyreek Hill in a package deal today. and looking to flip him ASAP. How should I approach this? Pivot up for Jet or Chase, for Justin Jefferson or Chase, or pivot down? Thanks. I'd be curious to hear the trade also, the trade package, Greg. If you want to throw that in there, look, we'll speak to this now, but then let's throw your trade up here. See how you did. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think with Tyreek, he fits almost kind of what we were talking about with Devontae Adams. Like maybe a little bit of a lesser version of Adams, Kupp, Stephon Diggs. Like I think the community is convinced he's going to smash, and I don't necessarily see a reason that he won't. But it's also probably the time to get out on Tyreek Hill because, Shane's talked about trading Tyreek Hill all year, and he's probably happy if he didn't get out that he had, a massive target game in week 1. And it's like, okay, this extends my window to get out on him. I don't think – so you have one of two options. Obviously, you can try to get a pick plus in a deal. Like if you can get a 23 first plus and maybe tear down to another potential usable player, maybe a filler running back that you can then flip for a second if he gets a job or something like that. Or you go to a team that, I think one of the problems is the rookie receivers that I would be targeting most are probably the ones that people are feeling comfortable putting in their lineup too. So like I'd say, go get Drake London. But the person that here's the thing, like you can't really buy Drake London low because the guy that has Drake London is starting him every week, most likely, even in a start 10, like he's on the fringe of he's probably in your lineup. So it's just how far down do you want to go? I mean, the home run deal is, can you get Jameson Williams in a first or something like that? I mean, that's the deal where it's like, man, if you hit on Jameson Williams, I mean, you're cooking with gas because you got the 23 first plus. You've already kind of filled that occupied receiver slot for next year. So you're getting more towards that roster construction where if he's one of those threshold receivers, now I have the extra first to play with. So that'd be the target trade, but I'd be fine even swapping like Tyreek for Drake London straight up if you could do that. It would fit his team. And I think he's probably got the potential within a year or two to be right there in the same mold.
What about Tyreek or Brandon Ayuk in a 24 first?
Process over players, right?
Yeah, I want more for Tyreek though.
Yep.
Look, even when I was trading him in the offseason, I was a little bit stingy, right? Not stingy, but I was kind of selective. Wasn't just giving him up all easy. Like you had to work a little bit. Ayuk in a 24 first feels like, I don't know, like banging on the first date. Like it's just too easy. I should have made him work harder or her harder. And I'm probably going to hold on to Tyreek and see what else I can get.
Well said. Well, we'll move on from that. Greg, thank you very much for that super chat. Appreciate it. Let's throw up another one here from Sean. 12-team Superflex start 10. Lamb or Sutton. So pick one of the two. Lamb or Sutton and a second. Okay. And 2 later 23 seconds. Let me start over. CD Lamb or Cortland Sutton and 2 later 23 seconds. I have 4 firsts and 8 seconds. With a good roster, figured the 2 late seconds wouldn't hurt.
So I assume he's, with the last comment, he is getting Lamb in this trade. Yep. And the person is panic selling on Lamb, like he's not going to smash this year. So give me a guy that I think probably could outscore him, and I get the free picks. I think Lamb's a fascinating one because he had all the pressure this year to smash, right? And he's probably not going to smash, but I almost wonder if the community is going to give him a pass again. His season
because of Dak's injury.
He finished wide receiver 27. Okay, next year is when he'll smash. So I kind of want to buy some Lamb just to have the asset. I think Shane and I both agree he's probably not an elite receiver. Unless he goes out, what I'm looking for Lamb this year is I don't care if he finishes wide receiver 30. He can't go out there and still only get 20% of the targets.
Yeah.
If he gets 28% of the targets and he just sucks because his offense is terrible, the efficiency of the quarterback sucks, I'll buy into Lamb a little bit more going into next year. But yeah, I like the Lamb side here just for the asset strength.
Yeah, I'm taking Lamb. I forget who brought it up, and if you're watching, thanks. I don't remember who you are. But someone brought up the point, and it was in Scott's chat, like, what we complained about Lamb was you're not getting an elite target share. He goes out there and gets a 27% share week 1. No, the production wasn't there, but we're the type of people that always preach, look at the peripherals. If they're good, then it's going to work out. The dude went out and had a 27% target share. Yeah, I mean, he went 2 for 11, right? Which is terrible in baseball. Like, you get sent to the minors for that. In football, that's just unheard of. I don't see why that's going to change. So I'm going to hold on to Lamb here. It feels like you're just selling low on him. Like a week ago, would you have traded Lamb for Sutton in 2 seconds? No. If you would have, then fine, make the deal. But I don't believe you would have. And I think you're lying if you said you would.
Yeah, I agree with the he's gonna hold some value. There's gonna be excuses again, That's just how it happens. Okay, let me go to one that I had here in the hopper. This one was an inbox trade, and everybody in the chat, it's fantastic to see 117 people in here. That's awesome. Just take a peek down, make sure you hit that like. Shane is our resident like police, and you'll get in trouble. Inbox trade. This was from the community post that I put up. 12 team super flex PPR start 9. Give James Conner and a late 23 first. Get Breece Hall. I'm doing it.
Shane cannot contain his excitement. Look at him.
Oh my
Easily.
God, yes. That's someone going, oh, I don't like Breece Hall's usage in the first week. I don't care that he had 10 targets. Like, dipshit. Like, dude, he's a top 3 running back. And it's a legitimate one. It's not like how we push Lamb up. Like, yeah, make that deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'd still make it. I'm not as excited about Breece Hall, but yeah, I think I would do it. I think you have a good chance of holding the better asset, and I was encouraged with his usage. Even if he goes out and only gets 200 touches as a rookie, like, I think he's going to be playable. I think that's what we were most worried about. Like, he's just not going to be playable. But I think he got enough work, and the offense is going to be structured in a certain way where he's going to at least be startable. So, yep, I'll do it. Good deal.
Let's see. This one's good. You on the fence about a roster review? Answer. Do it. You won't be disappointed. Worth every cent. Thanks again, Shane, Scott, and Clay. Thank you, Ben. Glad you enjoyed it. These guys do absolutely crush it. Okay. Let's put this one up here. What type of win now receivers would you trade a mid to late 23 first for if you had 3 firsts and were in a window? Kelsey Mahomes stack, 12 team full PPR start 11. So we were kind of talking about this mid to late 23 first win now. Would you give a mid 23 first for AJ Brown right now? Shane was on mute, but he said
so
yes.
excited he's muted.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to let Scott go first, but yeah, I'm giving up the mid 23 for AJ Brown.
How can I go first when I can tell you are so excited?
You're like,
before he even finishes the question, you're like, oh my God, I gotta chime in.
Yeah, I'm taking. Look, AJ Brown he was one of those guys that was on the list that was on that fence where, like, I could give up a 23 first. I don't want to. After what I saw in week 1, I'm encouraged enough to go, all right, he's probably not going to have a 45% target share because, that'd be some kind of record. But he's probably going to be what he's always been, 27 to 30%.
He got 13 targets, 10 receptions, 155 yards. Not bad. Yeah. What about Davante Adams? If you're contending, are you giving a mid 23 first for him? Just get that ship. Why not? Mm-hmm. Okay. Tyreek Hill.
He's in the same boat.
Yeah,
I think Diggs, Adams, and Tyreek Hill are all in the same boat. If you can get them for one single first, as much as I love the 23 picks, if that's a 109, you're not going to regret that trade unless someone gets hurt. But, I mean, that's the risk you take with any trade.
And it's probably in this order for me. And then, look, this is where my dynasty brain continues to take over, and it won't let me just stop thinking that way. But it's going to be AJ, Tyreek, Davante, and then who was the oldest guy?
Adams.
The oldest guy? Davante.
Tyreek.
Diggs. So probably in that ascending order, like they're all kind of in that same little bucket. But if I can, I'm going to try to get the youngest dude out of him.
I mean, Diggs is 28. I've had a lot of people actually sniffing around, like trying to trade for Diggs because I don't think he's not at that cliff yet. His value might be at its peak, but I don't think you look at him and go, he's going to be done in 2 years. You know what I mean? Whereas Adams. Listen, there's a chance Adams falls off sooner because he's going to be 31 at the end of the year. Like it's possible, but yeah, I mean, those guys are what we talked about with the warp difference. If you can hit on one of these receivers that's scoring 20 plus points per game, that is a positional advantage. So don't hate it.
Okay. Ruben, our boy Ruben. Three of my faves. What are you guys doing with the Dallas Cowboys players, Lamb, Zeke, Schultz, and Pollard? Buy Lamb in a rebuild?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I've seen Lamb get traded for Christian Kirk in a second. And look, Christian Kirk had a great first week, but no. All day I'm doing that. I already don't like Schultz, and I think he misspelled his name, but I'm going to give him the pass on that.
Come on, Ruben. Where's the C? Respect the C.
But I was always trading Zeke and Pollard anyway, right? So that hasn't changed for me. But if I can buy some Lamb, I definitely will. But I'll say this: if someone's willing, they get scared on Schultz, I'll take Schultz. A bad quarterback is not a bad thing for a tight end, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I think the Zeke and Pollard, nothing changes with them except for they're just offense downgrades as a whole. They kind of are what they are. You were already betting on them being either Zeke for his volume, Pollard for his efficiency. You're just basing the offense needed to be good. Now it's not. So I don't even think you can trade those guys. They now just become like placeholder running backs that someone else will throw you a second for. I'm not even sure you can get a second for Pollard at this point. Schultz, I've been trying to trade aggressively. I've been trying to trade for guys that I think have a better outlook in a year. Like I've been sending, can I get Mike Gesicki in a second for Schultz? Can I get Noah Fant in a second for Schultz? Because I honestly think those guys are better than him, but I don't even really want Schultz the rest of the season either. Even if he gets a bunch of targets, they're going to be bad quality targets. And I'm not so convinced that even if Dak comes back after a month, that it's going to take him another month to get back to the efficiency level that he was. So I'm kind of out on Schultz. The problem is, like Shane said, go try to trade somebody Schultz. They go, yeah, man, he's dead. You know, Dallas is done. He's done for this year. They're not going to re-sign him. He's going to sign with the Bears, and he's going to have no targets in week 1 of next year.
He needs to, stop being selfish, and for us Dynasty owners, do an official name change. His name just isn't sexy enough to ever get a first. I don't know.
Or he needs to sign an extension because apparently we did not want to sign an extension with Dallas because they probably weren't offering him enough money, and maybe they'll cave. The problem with Dallas is they don't really have the, let's just say, financial wherewithal to pay Dalton Schultz what the current market is for tight ends because it literally goes up every time another one signs. So
yep.
Are you paying Dalton Schultz $15 million a year when you could have just kept Amari Cooper for $19 million a year? Probably not.
Probably not. Andy, thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate it. 12 team, 1 QB, half PPR, no tight end premium, start 9 in my inbox. Give AJ Brown 24 second, get Deontay Johnson and a late 23 first. I'm not contending this year. I already have 3 23 firsts.
Oh, is this a question?
I'll do it.
Yeah, immediately. Dude, yes. Go hit accept right now. It's in your inbox. And then when he tries to reverse it, be like, no. Don't tell me that was a fat finger. You offered it. Now, just so you know, I have offered fat finger trades before and then asked people to reverse them. But just tell them no.
Often,
that's not
very often.
So it can happen, but if he tries that or she tries that, just be like, no, that's impossible. That can't happen. Do that immediately.
So you are giving up AJ Brown? I'm
getting Deontay in the 23 first.
Yeah, just making sure because Shane has an unhealthy love of AJ Brown after last week.
But Deontay I like a lot too, right? Like especially last year, I really came around on the guy, and then he went out there this week, and all the excuses or all the reasons that we thought we wouldn't like him. It's like, oh, it's a new quarterback, it's a bad quarterback. Well, guess what? Deontay Johnson is like a pig in mud with a bad quarterback and a bad offense. He's just going to be a target hog.
He had 12 targets. It's like whoever it is, they're going to him with the ball.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I like about this, Andy, is you already have 3 firsts. So you're kind of creeping up to that. Now you have a third of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1 QB, that's going to be even more important. Even if a couple of those picks ends up being late, I think you have more leverage to control the board now because you have 4 of the 12. Because really, if you hit on, let's say he gets unlucky with 3 of those picks, and it's the 109, the 110, and the 112, and he's feeling like, man, I got the kind of ass end of the picks, right? If one of those picks ends up like the 101 or the 102, he really just tripled his value. You know what I mean? Because he's going to get like the prime asset or one of the prime assets at running back. And he's probably just going to end up getting like best player available at the later first. So I like that. If you had no picks, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you're getting a first, maybe you just need to split these assets. Maybe you trade that first when you're on the clock next year and you try to move up and get a specific player. But I like the fact that he already has the 3.
Yeah.
He's working
Yeah,
himself into a great position.
Exactly. When you already have 3 and you're talking about getting a 4th, the value of that next first is more than a quote unquote regular first.
Yep,
it's
for sure.
it's got a turbo boost on it. Okay. Let's hide that. Thank you very much, Andy. Appreciate that. All right, let's throw Tony up here. Thank you, Tony. Roster review team 1, Andrews/Fields team. FFPC 1B. Gabe Olave and Gabe Davis got Drake London.
If I remember correctly, this team team 1 was the bad team. Scott, do you remember? Or was it a really good team?
I think it was a little less good, but I think that the thing is he had all those shots. He was going to have a problem with roster space. So I don't hate this. If you're planting a flag on one specific player, you can do this in FFPC at receiver. You can trade 2 for 1s. So I think if you have 1 or 2 moves like this where you can just go, you know what, I know I'm giving up probably 2 starters for one what I hope is going to be like a great starter. And I think that's what he did. So I don't hate the trade. Typically, if you didn't give me any context, I'd be like, if Drake London doesn't hit a difference-making mark, you probably just gave up a 2 for 1 of guys in the same range. But in his format, with how he's building his team, I don't hate the let me get 1 core asset. Because the other thing is it's 20-man rosters in FFPC.
It's very shallow.
He goes and picks somebody up. He probably goes and picks up a running back or a tight end or something like that. And it's more of a 2 for 2. Like insert, I don't know, Hayden Hurst into this trade in a tight end premium. And you're like, all right, at least he's somewhat usable. So I think that there's some context there. Yeah. I like it. Good trade, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. I'm going to throw up a question here. This, let's see. Say you have J-Rob and Kareem Hunt, but also roster ETN and Chubb. What is your strategy for starting them / sitting them? Are you comfortable starting 2 RBs on the same team over guys that will likely see more plays? First off, this is a shout out to my wife's cousin, Joey. He's a trip. We got to get him involved with the show somehow. So yeah, basically, I think he threw out the name like Edmonds as another option that he could, start instead of, doubling up on the backfield. What are your thoughts on stacking both running backs in a roster?
I mean, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, you just start them together. But
yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of backfield where if you just said, I'm going to get 35 to 40 touches and 7 to 8 targets and a couple goal line opportunities guaranteed between the two, I don't care if Kareem Hunt scores 22 and Nick Chubb scores 12 or reversed. Yeah. I'm good with it. So I think that tandem, you just start together. I have no qualms about starting them together. And I kind of wonder, I've heard it a couple times this week on podcasts. Oh, well, Kareem Hunt has massive upside if Nick Chubb gets hurt. I'm like, I don't know if he does. I think his best role is what he's done for 3 years now. It's like how long is he going to be efficient to where you're like, that's who he is? You know what I mean? He can maximize his 12 to 15 touches and his 56% snap share or whatever. And so I think they're best in those roles. J-Rob and ETN, I'm okay with those two. I'm kind of more okay planting my flag on one or the other. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I can trade ETN for a first and just bet that J-Rob survives and continues to like eat away into his work, then fine. Or if I trade J-Rob for a second and I go, he's not going to come back from his Achilles. He's not going to be able to keep this up. Let me get out on the torn Achilles UDFA that could be a free agent after this year. I'd more likely pick my lane with those two.
Shane, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, so Kareem Hunt and Chubb, Kareem Hunt's definitely a weird, like he has independent value. And like what Scott was saying, we've actually seen Kareem Hunt without Nick Chubb. And
he's the same guy, basically.
He's the same dude. Yeah. And that's fine. That's how they want to use him. And he's good in that role. ETN and J-Rob, look, J-Rob scored 2 touchdowns, which is why it looks like he was useful last week. You take those touchdowns away, and I know, look, you can't. I get that. But the point is, based off usage, he shouldn't have scored 2 touchdowns. You take those touchdowns away, and really he wasn't useful to you. So you got to plant, like Scott said, you got to plant a flag on one guy. Obviously, I'm an ETN guy. But if your roster can absorb it, I might want to go ahead and trade ETN if I can get more value. But I'm looking to see if I can get out on J-Rob.
Yep, there's Toronto Dave saying I'm
Yeah.
starting Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon on a weekly basis. Yep.
Yeah, so there's some, look, and that's what you got to do is look at the backfield. Like, is there enough usage, even if it's split usage? Green Bay's is. If you look at Jacksonville's usage, without those touchdowns, you'd be very suspect going, yeah, I can start both of these guys.
Or like, do you really want to start 2 Eagles backs?
I don't want to start the one that I'm starting. And
well, but you could say the argument is that the Eagles may use 3 running backs. So if I could start 2, I'm still capturing some element of like a really good efficiency running game. Like getting 2 players as a part of that. The problem is like it could be 3 players, and you could only get half of it between the 2 that you start. So I think it comes down to knowing the backfields. Otherwise, I'm okay. Like Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. Last year, you were okay playing them both together.
Yeah.
After week 1, I think you can say, all right, I'm okay. If I have both, I'm okay actually selling Javonte super high and betting on Melvin. Like that's how I would take it. I wouldn't just say, I want to start both and just jam them in there.
Yep. Okay, let's put up a couple of these. So inbox trades. Got a couple inbox trades. We got Patty here. 12 team, start 9, 1 QB, half PPR. Give Miles Sanders and Tyler Algier. Get James Conner and a 23 third.
I go James Conner in the 3rd.
Yeah. I mean, look, I
mean, is Algier really worth a 3rd? He's basically probably worth a 3rd in a 1 QB. So I'd rather just have James Conner over Miles Sanders.
James Conner's just one of those guys for me. He's a
Void
guy.
He crushes until he doesn't.
Yeah. I know. He's like a time bomb. You don't even want to see him carry it, but you do.
But Miles Sanders is a time bomb as well. The difference is James Conner has a couple like running back 1 seasons in his war chest, and Arizona even showed you last week, like guys, we're still going to target him a lot. So I'm going to go his way.
All right, let's go to Ben's here. Also have an inbox deal. 10 team Superflex PPR. Give Tyler Boyd and Logan Thomas. Get David Njoku and Velus Jones. Sexy one here, Ben. We had to throw it up.
No, you know what? Look, I actually I like Tyler Boyd after this year. And Logan Thomas actually out targeted David Njoku. I said his name wrong on purpose, I guess. 6-1 last week. Even though Njoku was playing 84% of the snaps. Scott said this on, I believe it was Dynasty and Chill Patreon edition. At this point, David Njoku might just be this. This is kind of what he is. He's had 87 quarterbacks. None of them want to throw the ball to him. So I'll take Logan Thomas and I'll take Boyd because Boyd's going to be a free agent next year, and I'd like to see where he goes.
Yeah, I'm actually okay trading away the players that he's trading. It's just he's not really getting anything. So I'd rather have the guys where I can go, all right, even there might be a potential that they're usable when I don't think Velus Jones is going to be usable. So it's almost like this is like such an unsexy trade that just give me the 2 guys that I think I could squint and say they're in my lineup. Maybe Njoku bounces back, but I mean his career market share is under 9%. So to think he's going to just all of a sudden explode to, I mean, you got to be around like 15% or so or maybe a little bit under 13 to 15% to where I'm like, all right, I'm interested if you get into the right offense, but he just hasn't been there. So we'll see what happens with Watson, but I think I would hold.
Okay, let's go to Buck. Thank you very much for the super chat, sir.
Nice logo, crisp.
Yeah. This new bubble that I'm using tonight for the live streams, it cuts off like a lot of our face.
This is crazy. He's in a start 9 QB league. That's rough.
Start 9 QBs.
Wow.
Yeah. 12 team Superflex, half PPR, start 9. His QBs are Burrow, Lance, Dak. His RBs are Saquon, Eckler, Jamal Williams, and Lenny. Wide receivers are Pittman, Higgins, DK, DJ Moore, Gabe Davis. Tight ends are Pitts, and Hurst.
Hurst, probably.
Yeah.
Hurst.
Yeah. Do I trade Dak, Higgins, in a late 2023 first for Carr, Kupp, and Gibson?
No.
No, I'm gonna pass.
Interesting. Is Carr and Dak the same guy, Shane?
Dak is slightly better car.
Okay, so Higgins versus Cup. I mean, we like Higgins, but
I like Higgins a lot, but throwing in and throwing in a 23 first is crushing me here. Now, look, if this was week 11 and Cup's still out there throwing up, 25 points a week, and I want to go win a title, talk to me then. In week 2, my resolve's a little more steely than this, because that's a big asset to give up there in T. Higgins and the late first, and quite frankly, selling Dak at his lowest, hopefully, what's his lowest point.
the more that we do it,
this roster though, I mean, he could compete. He's got a couple guys on his team like Saquon and Eckler. I don't know, man.
I mean,
I could see it.
Can I do DK instead of Higgins?
Yeah, can you make it? Who's switching over here? What are you doing, sir?
Shane hit a button.
I'm sorry. I was trying to highlight the player. Instead of DK, can I go Gabe Davis, since the community loves him so much? Can I swap Gabe Davis in instead of Higgins? And I'd be fine actually if it's DK. Right. But yeah.
Well, Clay, you're a Washington fan. We haven't really talked about Antonio Gibson, but you know what? There's a part of me that thinks they're kind of grooming him for the McKissick role a little bit.
Yeah.
And which would make him more valuable for fantasy than he really ever has been, because he doesn't need to have 275 carries or 250 carries. You know what I mean? Like, if he only needs 150 carries, because the thing is, he's always going to be explosive. So he's a guy that even if he gets 8 carries a game, he could go for 70 yards on those carries. But if he's getting another 6 or 7 targets,
This is how they need to use him. It was amazing watching them, how they were using him. It's like, he's a converted wide receiver. He can catch the freaking ball, throw him the ball.
And it makes me want to start. I'll give it another couple weeks, but as soon as it's starting that B-Rob is coming back, I kind of want to collect some Gibson. I think he's got a career ahead of him that we've just kind of cast off. Like, you could probably trade guys that are. You could probably trade Miles Sanders for him in 2 weeks if he doesn't blow up in the next couple games. So I don't hate that trade. I don't hate it. It's definitely an all-in trade.
I think I'd lean the Cup Carr Gibby side there. And Buck is an aggressive guy. I'm in a league with him, and he doesn't mess around. He wants that
there
shit.
You go.
So,
do it.
Yeah. That's very on brand with you, Buck, to take that. Okay. Let's go to another one here. Actually, let me go to another question that I had. Pardon the delay here. Okay. At what point should I press the panic button on a team that's disappointing and start tanking? Everybody's already talking about, rebuilding and tanking. And we talked last show about how Shane already knows before the season starts if he's a rebuild and should be blowing it up. What are your thoughts on this question, guys? When do you hit the panic button?
I never panic. I always remain calm. That's part of what we do.
You're an emotional rock.
Look, not until at least like week 4 or 5, you know what I mean? And then I see all my bets are wrong. Then I'm like, uh-oh. But definitely not week 1. But you mentioned, I already know most of the time going into the season, this is a rebuild. There's not much for me to pay attention to. So if I think the team, that means if I don't think it was a rebuild already, and I go into the season and we lose a couple, I'm gonna hold steady. You know what I mean? If we go 0-4, then we got problems. Then I'll start looking at the math as to what I need to do to actually make the playoffs and whatnot.
I think earlier than later is better. I mean, we talk about this on the roster reviews a lot. Like, you want to be, especially. I mean, listen, with the 23 class coming up, it just feels like in a lot of my leagues that there are 3 or 4 people that are kind of just, I don't want to say they're checked out, but I almost just never think they're going to be the one that, goes on a trade tilt on a Saturday and blows up their team. They're just not active enough, and they really don't have a plan in place, whether it's to tank or whether it's to trade everything to try to win. Like, they don't really have a plan either way. So it's almost like my market, instead of 12 teams or 14 teams, is maybe like 6 to 8. And I don't want to be the one that goes, all right, that was a huge trade that just went down. let me try to get that same price because it just might not exist. So I think that you want to be earlier than later, whatever direction you're going to go. But I also think there's more context that needed. Why are you panicking? Why is your team disappointing?
Yeah.
I have quite a few teams this weekend where, and this is no joke, I have plans to try to contend, will contend, and I'm literally sending out offers to trade for like Rex Burkhead so I can start him.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, if you're down to starting Rex Burkhead in week 2, you must not have a great team. And it's like, well, basically my team is like week to week. You know what I mean? Like I'm shopping for a running back every single week because Rex Burkhead could be dead after this weekend. So, but that team, I'm not going to panic because I'm 1-1 or 1-2. It's already built that way. It's built to kind of live dangerously. If my team is built the other way and it's like I built around, I don't know, Dak Prescott and Trey Lance, and then after 3 weeks, like neither of them are starting, that's a team you're not going to rescue by waiting 2 more weeks. You know what I mean? So I think there's context as to why are you disappointing? Why are you panicking? If it's just, okay, I have the right roster construction and the players aren't hitting, I'd give that a little more time.
Yeah, when I read this, I was like, okay, if you're asking, and he may have just been asking in general, but if you're asking when should you press the panic button, that means that you probably already don't think your team is that great. And if they overachieve, you may be middle of the road, which means that you should probably start earlier. That's
like if your all-play record in week 1 was 0-11 and you're struggling for starters, like that you already know,
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to some more trades here. I'll go to your starred ones here. Brett, 12-team Superflex, full PPR, start 10. Traded Dak Prescott, Julio Jones, and a 23 second. Got Deshaun Watson and Zay Jones. Current starters, Mahomes and Lance.
So you're bragging.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's Dak. It's Dak or Deshaun Watson.
That is freaking awesome. I love that deal. And all you gave up was Julio Jones in a second, whatever. I didn't even think Julio Jones was someone that I can involve in a trade without getting yelled at by people like a week ago. So yeah, I'm all for it.
I mean, you can almost cancel out Julio Jones and Zay Jones as just like they're both kind of semi-usable week-to-week roster cloggers. And he basically got from Dak to Watson for a second when the person getting Dak is probably going to be without him for at least half the time you're not going to have Watson. So that would have been close before. And to do it. Great job, Brett. Great job.
Yep. Good trade. Okay, let's go to another one here. John Fisher. Hey guys, thanks for the roster review. So I've hit up every team and no one's letting go of any top tier RBs. Do you suggest I try and trade Jefferson for an RB like Taylor, Javonte, or Swift?
This isn't one of those like ones. It'd have to be for Taylor. There's no other running back I would even entertain this for. It'd have to be Javonte and Swift. Outside of that, no.
No, and you know what? It's week 2. Be patient. Be patient. I mean, I'm not saying Jefferson is going to have a cup type season, but he's on his track to have a difference-making wide receiver season, which is just as valuable as a difference-making running back season. There will be opportunities where people will panic on, and you may have to buy at 75% the running back that doesn't smash for the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's when you jump in and you say, all right, I'll take the gamble. You're not trading Jefferson for one of those guys. But, I mean, how long have we played Dynasty? How much attrition is there at running back every year? It's going to happen. People are going to feel uncomfortable with insert top 15 running back in the next month. And they're going to be going, who wants him? Who wants him? J.K. Dobbins comes back and he looks like Cam Akers. It's like, okay, I want him off my team. There's going to be opportunities. So just be patient. Don't freak out after week 1.
And in some leagues, some people freaked out on Cam Akers and they traded him away for a second and a third rounder. And, look,
those guys are geniuses.
You'll just take that shot. You know what I mean? If you have to, and just hope that he rebounds to be a useful running back again, a productive member of society.
Yep. Okay. Let's put up, this is nice. Thank you, Eric. Don't have any trades this week. Just wanted to say I love the show. Keep it up, guys.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
We love all of you all 151 eyeballs. Thank you so much for being here. Shane, Mr. Like Police, how are we doing on the likes?
I'm a little disappointed in that. I'm not going to lie to you. We could be doing better. We're at
We could be doing better.
63%, which is, look, I'm not great with that.
63%.
I'm guessing 63% likes.
So
Shane,
so
tell your
it's like
kids to
the
both
upper
tell your
80s, upper
kids.
80s amount of likes or something.
Tell your kids right now to go like the stream, okay?
No, I don't need my kids in here, and then they'll be super chatting my own money back to me again.
Okay, hit that like if you haven't already. Appreciate it. Okay, John, 12 team super flex, half PPR, 1.15 tight end premium, start 11. Give CD Lamb, lots of CD Lamb action, huh? No surprise, but give CD Lamb, Mike Evans, and a 24-second. Get ETN, Elijah Moore, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
You go do this, John. You're
Yeah.
getting potentially the three best players or close to it.
Yeah.
Yes. Please hit accept immediately and start 11 too, right? You need 3 starters, and guess what? You got them. Elijah Moore is going to be an absolute beast, and St. Brown, he's just PPR god. It's just what he is.
Yeah, if it's not in your inbox, then put it in your other league mates' inbox right now and let us know if you got the accept. All right, thank you, John. Okay, let's see here. 12 team. Superflex, tight end premium, half PPR, start 10. My team is in a rebuild. Give Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton, get Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, okay, trading stacks.
Yeah, I want Dak and Lamb over Russ and Sutton.
Yeah.
Now, if it was Russ,
especially in a rebuild,
it helps your team.
You don't want those points.
Yeah. Now, if it was Russ and Judy, it's a close conversation, but luckily it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Let's we'll hide that one there. Elijah Mitchell and Jamison Williams for Christian Kirk, a mid first. So I guess we'll assume 23 first and a 24 second.
Yeah.
I'll say yes, as fast as you can.
Yeah. Go ahead and take the Kirk first, second side. Okay. Let's see. I've got a private chat here. Couple other super chats, yo. Thanks for the heads up, Shane. All right,
Shane,
let's go.
You have star capability. You realize that?
I starred them.
No, he does. Shane's the like police, and he's also the super chat police. Theodore, thank you very much. Appreciate it. 10 teams, start 10, half PPR. Gave AJ Brown, got Rashad Bateman, Garrett Wilson, and a 24-second. Did I get enough for AJ Brown? What's his ceiling and the odds that he keeps it up? So let's talk about the trade itself first. 10 teams, start 10, half PPR. Gave AJ Brown, got Bateman, Garrett Wilson in the second. What do you think?
Yeah, you got enough. Would I do it? No, because I'm an Eagles fan, and I think AJ Brown's going to be the wide receiver 1 this year. But from an objective standpoint, yes, you got enough. I'm really high on Garrett Wilson. He had a good target share. I believe he out-targeted Elijah in their first action. And Bateman scored a touchdown, even though, Devin Duvernay was the alpha on that team.
Hook 'em horns, baby.
Yeah. No, you got enough.
I think the half PPR part plus the start 10 in a 10 team, they kind of cancel each other out. I typically lean towards the better player. I mean, AJ Brown, someone said it in our Patreon chat earlier today that AJ Brown hasn't proven anything. So I looked a little bit deeper into AJ Brown. He has a 23% career market share, and he's averaging over 17 PPR points per game. Like, that's on a track to be extremely good. Not like top 3, top 5 good, but right outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to get to that range. Now, people just get warped with his counting stats because they're like, look at his totals, and he's been injured. He's missed like 7 games in his career.
Yep.
And it's like, well, all you needed with AJ Brown, and maybe we whiffed on this because we talked about the Eagles projections, and it was really going to come down to if the Eagles throw it at a above neutral pace and they throw it 550 times or so, then AJ Brown's going to smash if you are buy into his historic market share ability, and that came to roost in week 1. So I can see where you maybe lost this deal, but I understand the process of trying to get 2 shots for 1.
Man,
What's up, Shane?
Someone I know wrote an entire article about that. Why how the Eagles were actually thrown in at a really much higher rate in the beginning of last year. And then I went down narrative street and said, look, they actually just trade it for a wide receiver, for even first round pick using, and then gave him $100 million. Guys, you're probably going to throw to this guy.
Yeah.
Who wrote that article?
Oh, wait, that was me. Yeah, Fantasy Data. Check it out. Great article.
Yeah, and by the way, on I posted a TikTok. If you follow us on there, and it's a great AJ Brown one where Shane's saying, if you're a Devonta Smith owner, this is what you should be scared about. Basically, this is what happens when a target vacuum comes into town. It was a pretty sick reel. Okay, shout out to Liam, who does a lot of our editing. He makes ridiculous reels, man. It's a lot of fun. Okay, let's put on One Love here. Thank you very much for the super chat, sir or senora. 10 team, 1 QB, half PPR, start 7. Give 2 23 firsts, Pollard, and get AJ Brown. And has 5 other 23 firsts. Need a hammer, already a contender. Do it, man. Start 7, right?
Yeah, I'm
5 other 23 firsts. Just
legally, we're required to say, at least make the same offer for Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Like by law, we have to state that. Yeah, if we don't, it's malpractice and we get sued. But yeah, I'm fine with that, especially given the context. It start 7. Me and Scott just did a start 7 roster review. It was really actually fun. And I'm going to start 7 league, and I would do this.
Yeah, no, that was a 16 teamer, so it was a little different. Here, this is a. I don't want to say this is a fish trade, but this is a sucker trade. Like it's a start 7. Everyone in the league is probably going like, "Hey, who wants 5 pieces for 1?" And you have one sitting in your inbox, or supposedly you can get this done. Yeah, this is like attaching a hammer to like a truck and just running the other team over.
Yeah.
Smash it. Great trade. Well worth the $9.99 super chat to get that praise.
I love that. What did you say? You attach a hammer to a truck?
Instead of just hitting something with a hammer, you attach it to a truck.
You attach it to a truck.
He just put the truck, or excuse me, he just put the hammer on the grill.
Yeah, exactly. The hammer on the grill. You don't even swing it. You just run into somebody with it. I love it. I love it. Great visual there. Okay. Let's go to this one right here. Cy, thank you very much. Mooney over Gabe Davis and Tua, or Trey Lance as QB? I didn't read that properly.
I think it's 2 questions. Mooney or Gabe Davis, Tua or Trey Lance. I'm starting Trey Lance. Gabe Davis he got hurt today, so it's I know we don't do start sits, but for me, I've looked at Gabe Davis and I've looked at what players I have to potentially play if he doesn't play. So, you could do worse than playing Mooney. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I'm taking Mooney, and I got to hold on to my priors for one more week. I'm going with Trey Lance here.
Yeah.
And forgive me, I just said hold on to my priors like a fucking tool bag. Oh, excuse my French.
Yeah, thanks, because I can edit live. That's
that's out there in the ethers forever.
Yeah. Okay, I see another one here that I just scroll by. In my inbox, 12 team super flex, half PPR, super flex again, just so we don't miss that. Start 8. Got offered DK, Alvin Kamara, and a mid/early 23 second for Joe Burrow.
I'm good. Pass.
Yeah, no.
Not in the super flex. What if that were a early 20 or earlier mid 23 first instead of the second? So DK, Alvin Kamara, and an early 23 first.
It's closer, but the issue with this trade is it's a start 8, and I probably don't want to mess up my roster construction by trading away a quarterback for a receiver, a running back, and a pick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like how much value. It's an interesting discussion. How much value would this guy have to throw at you to break up your roster construction? Because now you have Here's the thing. What are you doing with DK Metcalf? Start 8. He's just sitting on your bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't start him and start.
So I think it'd have to be at least a first before I'd entertain it, and then I'm probably looking at my team going like, because if I have a hole at quarterback, it's a start 8. I'm now like, I can't really make it up with only 8 starters. Even if I have a couple better running backs or receivers. So pass.
Okay, let me go to this one right here. What are your thoughts on super stacking? I have Burrow and Jamar Chase. Would you be less inclined to trade for T. Higgins? I believe in this full question, he would have been able to get T. Higgins at pretty good value, pretty solid value. But would you not trade, likely a 23 first for T Higgins if you already have Burrow and Chase. Is that too heavy, or do you always take value? Do you always take value if you're getting it?
Well, you need context.
Get the good football player.
On high volume, high efficiency offenses that are two guys that are proven to be good, independent of the quarterback, then I'm okay. Where I don't want to do it is like, let me go overpay just because this team put together an offense that looks good right now, but easily could be like, I'm less inclined to go and pay for, I don't know, like Hunter Renfrow on the Raiders. You know what I mean? Just because I think that in a year it could look a little bit different, or 2 years it could look a little bit different. So, I mean, I get it, but I think independently you would buy these players. So if they're on one team, who cares?
Well, and
you could acquire them and trade them. You have an awesome asset that you could then trade later if you want to. So,
and that's kind of the allure with super stacking, or just stacking in general, right? Is like, I have these really good players. They're going to hit most weeks. It's nice if I put them together. Are there going to be bad weeks? Yeah, but you know what? I'm probably going to have weeks where Jamar Chase and I don't know, let's call him AJ Brown instead of T Higgins. They're going to have bad weeks. You know what I mean? Is that any less impactful to my roster than if it's Jamar Chase and T Higgins? No, but the chances are T Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are going to smash more weeks than not.
Yep. Okay. We're going to have to go through, do some hyper speed. Gosh, this time flies, man. 56 minutes. I feel like we're going to have to do, I guess I got to run this past my wife, but we have to do some like marathon-y type thing. Like one of these days, we got to do a marathon. Like, I don't know, every super chat dollar we get, it adds another like minute onto the stream.
Okay, so you might want to talk to me and Scott about that too, though. But yeah.
Oh, so I don't just have to clear it with my wife. Scott and Shade have to be talk to about it. True. We are a team here. We are a team. Okay, let's get rolling here. What is this thing you've got in the private chat here? Charles Chill FFB. Are you offering, or is that a trade offer that you're
I just opened the trade in my email inbox while you were talking about putting us on air for longer.
Start 12. Yeah, can you bring that up or no?
Is it any way to bring it up, or I can?
No, it's just my comment. You could post it in the main chat and then put the comment up. Do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. So here's what Scott had in the private chat. Let's go to it. Live. Somebody pulling it up? I got it. There we go. 14 team super flex start 12. CD Lamb or Christian Kirk and Marquise Brown. The start 12.
Dude, start 12. I'm taking Christian Kirk and Marquise Brown.
Talks, yeah.
Bye
CD.
No, I actually am getting CD. And it's one of these teams. It's a fascinating team because it's a team I started to tank, but I have enough depth in a start 12 where I'm probably going to make the playoffs, even when I have 4 firsts in the chamber too. So it's not really a team I want to start like giving away extra assets. You know what I mean? So I'm actually okay in declining the trade, which would have been crazy like 2 weeks ago. You would have smashed this even in a start 12. So I just want to put that up there because it's interesting how fast things change.
I mean, if I have the depth, I'll say this. If you can afford to get them, I'll go ahead and grab them.
It's really what do I want to do with the depth pieces that I have? Basically, they're picks. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I'll think about it.
David, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. 12 team super flex PPR 1.75 tight end premium start 10. Side A is Justin Herbert, Dameon Pierce. Side B is Saquon, Tom Brady, Sky Moore, and a 23 first. Love the show, guys. Appreciate it, man.
A.
What yeah, it's side A. I was gonna ask where that 23 first falls, but no, man. it's irrelevant. One thing if there were 2 of them.
Yeah, if it was you shouldn't be trading Justin Herbert. And I even called him by his right name. That's how serious I am about the matter.
I mean, I think if you deconstruct this, the problem is and I don't know if you guys have noticed this too, but the Tom Brady market has flattened. I think people have finally accepted that he's going to retire. And it's also a very good chance that he's not like a quarterback 5 or better this year either. Yeah. He's just kind of a placeholder like low end QB1, you can't even get. There's a league I've been trying to shop him. All I'm asking for is 2 seconds, and it's just
can't
been
even get 2 seconds for him.
crickets. And so it's almost like I think I'd trade almost like Dameon Pierce might be one of the best assets you could get for Tom Brady. And like I know Shane would go, oh, I'd probably rather have Brady, but it's just not enough. I need at least that package on the other side, probably another first at least to consider trading Herbert, and that's without Pierce. So do not accept this.
No, yeah, it would have to be another 23 first as well.
Right.
Like not a 24. Thanks again, David. Appreciate it. All right, let's hammer through some of this. Still have 159 eyeballs on here.
Nice.
DPG. It is an hour, isn't it? Yeah, DPJ. Conviction. Thank you, Kooksy, for the super chat. DPJ conviction was reinforced a bit in week 1 with 11 targets. He was a fringe clogger to some. What do you guys think for now and when Watson is back? It's format dependent too, right? I mean,
he's not a clogger until he stops getting 30% market share, but that doesn't mean it's going to continue to where he's getting 30% market share when Watson comes back. So,
well, I'll say this though, if he's a 25% market share guy, even 20%, he's usable, right?
For
Definitely usable. And if he's doing that without Watson, I am of the belief that targets are earned. It's going to continue when Watson gets there. And we've already shown it'd be different if Amari Cooper was beyond like a mediocre receiver, right? Like if it was just like there was some weird connection between Jacoby Brissett and DPJ, I'd be like, pass it off like, they went to college together. Maybe it's just a thing. You know what I mean? And there's a really good wide receiver there. Like, I don't know, AJ Brown. Then I'd be like, this is an anomaly. It's going to change. Amari Cooper's not special in any way. So that's why I think if, obviously watch this week. If he gets a 4% target share, then time to be concerned. And it's just an anomaly.
That's the thing. What is the price point to ship him off auto accept right now? Because if he goes out and David Njoku, Anthony Schwartz, David Bell, Amari Cooper get all the targets and he gets 2 targets this weekend, then what? You know what I mean? Like, what is the price point? Like, would you send him away for 2/3 right now?
No, I'm going to hold. Because you know what? When I look at players, right, and I do look at them in that range of what could happen, I go, all right, am I okay with the fact that this 4th rounder that I spent a rookie pickup on, or 4th round pick I spent on, or quite frankly, waiver wire, let's be honest. Yeah. Am I okay with him bottoming out and me not getting a 2nd rounder for him? Or I should say, in this current scenario, 2/3. I can live without those 2/3, right? I'd rather let me see what happens if he hits his upside. He'll never be a 1st rounder, most likely. But can I
take a 24 second?
I was about to say, I don't even think I'd sell him for a 24 second. I don't know. I almost want to see if his value would increase a little bit more. Above, if that person's offering a 24 second.
There's more I can do with a second if I have it, though, which makes me say I want to take it. But I get where you're coming from, Clay. Like 24 second, it's kind of something I feel like I can get at any point for a lot of the players on my team.
Yeah, so where I'm at as a 2nd is when real value begins, because that matters. I can actually attach that to another player and get a 1st. You know what I mean? Like we do that all the time. I can't attach most times. I can't attach a 3rd to a player and get a 1st back. So yeah, I'm fine with holding on to him just to see if he can level out at least a 2nd rounder. If I get a 24 2nd rounder, I'll take it.
Yep. One Love, thank you very much. You didn't need to do this, but remind me how to get one of these roster reviews, please. Love the show, gentlemen. All the best. Okay, so let me throw a ticker on the bottom, which will help as well as I talk about this. So roster reviews. Whoops. Yeah, we'll just keep this up. Interested in a roster review, email dynastytradesin5@gmail.com or DM us on Twitter @tradesin5. All right. So we do have to charge for these to help keep the lights on with this channel. Get Shane iced coffee every once in a while, and a protein shake for Scott, former power lifter. But no, so we do charge for them. But send us a message, Dynasty Trades in 5 at Gmail, or DM me at Trades in 5. And we'll talk through it. We send out a Google form, has a bunch of questions on it. It's quick to fill out, but we get a really good idea of your league and your team, so we can really tailor these reviews. And Scott and Shane absolutely crush it. And let me just throw this up as well. This is how it looks. It's with me not in the middle. Basically throw up the rosters in between them, and they get after it. It's a lot of fun. So thank you for that super chat. And I also will throw in that we are busy. We are also busy with roster reviews. So I'll give you a heads up as to what the turnaround will be. But yeah, thank you again for that super chat. Let me hide that. Let me hide this here. Okay, back to some more here. Garrett, 10-team super flex, 0.75 PPR, Dynasty start 10. Give Aaron Jones, Mac Jones, Khalil Herbert, and a mid 23 second. Get Dak Prescott, Jared Cook,
Jared
Cook.
I
was like, get side, Jared Cook. Get James Cook, early to mid 23 first. Okay, so let me read that again because I jacked it up. Give Aaron Jones, Mac Jones, Khalil Herbert, and a mid 23 second. Get Dak, James Cook, and an early to mid 23 first.
I mean, he got the two best assets in the trade, so yeah, just move on and take it.
Yeah.
And he got James Cook basically for free at the same price as Khalil Herbert, or a mid 23 second. So smash it.
And then guess what? When Dak comes back healthy and he's fine, I'm probably going to go trade him, probably to, obviously someone I'm contending against, but I'm going to take their best player. And I'll be even better. So do that.
Then you go trade Dak for Aaron Jones, Mac Jones, and a 24
by himself.
or you have the flexibility to trade Hurts. I would never say flexibility to go trade Josh Allen, but I'm just saying, when you have 3 stud QBs, like that's a very, very good problem to have. Mac Jones is side boob, still has value, but you're not going to get a ton for him. Okay, let's hide that. Process over players. Just want to see what this says. Process over players all off season. Then I wait to pick the players at the right time, or tank from the jump. I like that.
Spot on. It's a week-to-week game at this point, and you literally can just follow what's happening week to week to what players you want and what players you don't. If you don't have the infrastructure built by the time the season starts, it's too late.
Yep.
Look, I mean, just as an example, I've just towards that same story, I've traded for Rex Burkhead in 2 leagues this week. That's not something that I ever foresaw myself doing in any time during my lifetime. But I said, you know what, 3rd rounder, sure. Can I get 2 more starts out of him, because it's worth it for me. So yeah, you got to be flexible and bendy, as Phoebe Buffet once said. Very good.
Flexible and bendy. Bradley, thank you very much for the super chat. Do we have a we got a thing here. Hey guys, thanks for the roster review. Inbox trade, 12-team, start 10, super flex, 1 point for tight end. Okay. Give Mac Jones late 23 first, a late 24 first for Lamar Jackson. I have Josh Allen already.
Yeah,
Shane's head's about to
explode. Yeah. Go hit accept right freaking now, and I want a screenshot of it, Brad. You've been DMing me and Scott, so I want a screenshot of this trade going through, bro.
Good job, great trade.
Yeah, definitely do it. Definitely do it. Congratulations. And that's gonna look very pretty when you look at that roster. You're like, ooh, I've got Lamar and Josh Allen.
When you can look at your roster and go, Lamar Jackson is my QB2, you're living life right. Like, you've done something well.
Yep. If I have Darrell Henderson, should I be trying to acquire Cam Akers? If so, what would you pay?
No.
No, I mean, look, if you're going to try to acquire a Cam Akers, it's just because someone in your league is trading him for cheap and you're taking a shot with no real expectations. Like
This is not the backfield you acquire so you can start
Yeah.
both at the same time.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing though. So
Right.
they're not going to be. We were talking about those backfields where you can get production out of two people. This isn't going to be that backfield. It's going to be one or the other. And if it's Cam Akers, he's just going to overtake Darrell Henderson. So it really doesn't make sense to do it just for that. Now, I will say this. If you can get Cam Akers for a discounted price, I'm fine with buying. I hate saying that word. Trading for him now and seeing if he bounces back and if he has any semblance can redeem his value at all, and then trading him away immediately.
Okay. Scott's driving. Let's rock and roll here. 12 team super flex, start 10, 1.5 tight end premium. Give Derek Carr, Jerry Jeudy, and Waller, and get Pitts.
I put this one up. This should be a rapid fire for Shane, right?
Pitts.
Clay, you're not so sure. You like the players involved here.
I know. I just don't like giving up a quarterback in a super flex without getting one in return, even if it's some trash can. I don't know.
It does feel like the guy getting Carr, Jeudy, and Waller could win the title, right? And you get Kyle Pitts, right?
I'm
you
assuming
get the best asset, but I mean,
I'm going to assume Luck is here, can afford to make this move. So yeah, he's going luxury shopping. I'd say.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what? He might just get lucky too. So maybe he thinks Luck's on his side.
Lucky. There we go. Okay, let's go to the next one here.
Next one. I'm trying to read through them. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is a bragging one.
Traded Mitchell and a 24 third for a 23 first after the injury. Still a contending team if I get another RB. I have A.J. Dillon and Ramondre Stevenson right now. What move should I do?
I mean, the good news is he has a 23 first, which is worth well more than what he traded away.
Yeah.
And he can probably start A.J. Dillon and Ramondre Stevenson in week 2 and worry about using that 23 first for a running back when he actually needs one. So I think this is a classic example of, I don't know why someone traded a 23 first for Elijah Mitchell, who could be out literally until November. But this is a perfect trade because he banked an asset and it doesn't impact like his win rate probably, because he probably wouldn't be starting Stevenson if he was starting Elijah Mitchell. So I love it.
I know why, because I look, as a person that makes offers sometimes and accepts offers without fully paying attention, dude thought he was getting Elijah Moore. He didn't realize, like, he did not realize he's getting Elijah Mitchell, and then his pride didn't allow him to DM the dude to be like, oh, I'm sorry, can we reverse that? I thought it was Elijah Moore. I would have, but that's why. That's what happened.
That has to have been what happened there. Devonta Smith or a 23 second Kyle Phillips and Kenny Gainwell.
Devonta Smith.
Easy for you guys? All right. I guess we have no context on the starters or anything, but just want to throw that up there because Devontae has been, let's just say, the subject of not very many people's love over the last week. So, unfortunately for him.
What are we doing with Dobbins?
What are you doing with Dobbins, Shane?
I don't know, because I don't have him on any of my rosters because I traded him off after he shredded his knee last year.
Same here, pretty much.
You have to hold. And,
I'm holding. I've got him in a league with you guys, and I'm holding. I'm not going to get a good offer for him.
You just, unfortunately, you don't have a choice to do anything else. If you don't, you're not going to get a good offer for him right now, unless, I don't know. There's I forget what college he went to now already. I don't know. Maybe there's a Ravens fan.
Ohio State.
There you go, Buckeyes fan. I do a show with a Buckeyes fan, so I know how rational they can be. Maybe they're willing to give you a first for him. If they're willing to do that, then see it. But till then, I'm just going to hold on to him.
Are you starting him this week, Clay?
That's a different story. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean,
that's a start.
What are you
12,
expecting?
Right?
What are you expecting this week? Like, just paint the picture of what you would hope to happen so you could conceivably sell high. That he just looks good, he gets enough touches, and he doesn't look like he's limping around. Or I mean, what do you hope for?
Exactly. Like, just give me 5.5, 6 yards per carry. Like, don't expect him to catch the ball, but let's get him into the end zone. Give me 70, 80 yards. Looks decent on his carries with a touchdown. So
it's not like Cam Akers where he gets 3 touches, 0 yards, and is sitting there with his helmet off, wondering why Kenyon Drake and Mike Davis are getting all the carries.
Yeah. We'll see.
Him not limping would be huge because we haven't seen any video of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, John, 12-team Superflex, half PPR, 1.15 tight end premium, start 11. Give CeeDee Lamb and a 24-second. Get Travis Etienne and Elijah Moore.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Love that trade. Here's a quarterback trade I want to throw up there. Order 66. Trevor Lawrence or Breece Hall. And those are his 3 quarterbacks.
Breece Hall.
Does it matter if those aren't his 3 quarterbacks at all, Shane? Or are you taking Breece Hall no matter what?
I think a little harder if, let's say, Winston's my QB2 there, as opposed to Justin Herbert or Mahomes, whichever one you want to put, probably Mahomes. Yeah, I think a lot harder on it.
I'm T-Law over Breece if I didn't have that QB room.
I mean, isn't that the dream deal when you have that QB room, though? Like someone's willing to offer you an equivalent, like top 20 startup pick for one of your quarterbacks straight up. Yeah, good deal.
Like I tried to trade Tyler, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not naming him his name correctly because he sucked last year and he wasn't that good last week. I tried trading Lawrence for like Javonte Williams straight up and was laughed at. So if someone wants to give me the RB1 of this class, who comps to Jonathan Taylor very well, I want that dude.
Let me ask you something real quick, because I was screwing around and sent out on my teams where I have Breece Hall. I was like, I'm just going to throw it out there straight up for Jamar Chase. Obviously declined. But what would you need to have added on to Breece Hall to give up Jamar Chase?
Probably. It's probably got to be a first.
A 23 first?
I'm not sure there's people that will even take that. And I'll ask Shane because he loves Breece Hall. If you have Jamar Chase and someone gives you a mid-23 first and Breece Hall, are you considering it?
Likely not. No, not unless no.
23 and 24 first and Breece. That's equivalent of like 3.5 first, probably close to.
Yeah. Now, obviously, depending on team, blah 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 blah. Yes, that's what I will consider. One first, and Breece Hall is not enough. And I do love Breece Hall, but there's one thing I know: Jamar Chase has actually came out and crushed as a rookie, like at historical levels, and Breece Hall has not yet, even though I do love him.
And I doubt you're adding both first, right, Clay?
Nah, not a chance. Not a chance. I was just screwing around, you know. I wasn't bad. I had already knocked out the Wordle for the night. Okay, 16 team super flex, half PPR, start 11, contender. QBs are Kyler and Kenny Pickett, and I have 6 firsts, 1 in 23, 4 of them are in 24, and 1 in 25. How many firsts could you give up for Jalen Hurts?
I mean, it's a 16 team, right, Shane? Like you get Jalen Hurts and you add him to Kyler. I think I'm doing.
I'd give 3 of the 24s.
I'd give the 23 and 2 of the 24s. If that might be like my line in the sand, but I would be okay with it.
Look, my line in the sand is 3 first, whatever configuration it needs to get there. And I'm including Pickett as a first because initially what I'm going to try is Pickett a 23 first and a 24 first. You know what? What the hell? You got the 25 first. Let's make it a thing. I'm offering a 23 first, a 24 first, and a 25 first. That doesn't work. I'm coming back to Pickett. That doesn't work. Then 23 and 2 24s. If that doesn't work, then guess what? 2 23s and a 25. And then if that doesn't work, finally, then I'm going to go 2 23s and 1 24. You know why? Because it's a 16-team super flex. You pay up for quarterbacks, especially quarterbacks that are – look, Jalen Hurts might be above Kyler right now, to be quite honest with you, if Kyler doesn't get his stuff together.
Scott McCoy, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. 12-team, half PPR, 1 QB. Give Dak Prescott, Jeff Wilson, and 2 24 firsts for Justin Hebert.
So
1 QB.
Me and Scott talk about this a lot. Like I do like just difference makers at QB, no matter the format, and in one quarterback because they're like a sneaky like way to get extra points. So I'm fine with this because quite frankly, 2 seconds, whatever, in a 1 QB. And Jeff Wilson, look, he's going to have some really mediocre games over the next few weeks where he goes 10 for 24 and gets a touchdown, or 10 for 30 and he gets 2 touchdowns. But no, I'll take Herbert here.
I guess the only thing I'm fine with the deal. The only thing would be, given it's 1 QB, are you okay taking out one of the firsts and trying to get Kyler, Lamar, Jalen Hurts instead? instead of going up to Herbert? I mean, is that something you'd try to pivot to, Shane, and take away one of the firsts, or is Herbert a tier even in one QB ahead of those three?
No. They're all the same. They're all the same guy to me.
Agree.
Yep.
Oh, Bijan.
Thank you, Scott.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate it.
Breaking news. I just want to show this real quick. Bijan just broke a 77-yard touchdown.
Yeah, but look at who they're playing against.
I don't care. Doesn't matter.
No, he's a freaking monster. I mean, Bijan, baby. Give me some Bijan.
Let me pick
first that I have.
Let me pick
Shane
one.
wants to drive. We could go off the road here.
No, I just wanted to pick one trade because I saw the dude. He was like, "Oh, they're not going to get to my trade," and he's been in here since like before the show. So J-Rock, hopefully you're still here, and if not, hopefully you see this on the replay, and if not, well then you'll have no way.
Look at that avatar too. Look at that somewhat creepy avatar.
All right. We have a Dynasty 12-team Superflex PPR tight end premium. I traded CMC, Duvernay, Tyler Huntley, and TDP for Breece Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Jared Goff, and Kadarius Toney. Thoughts?
Yes.
It's probably the best deal you're going to get for Christian McCaffrey, honestly.
Yeah, you traded CMC. Everything else is just refuse. You traded CMC for Breece Hall and J.K. Dobbins, and you got a starting quarterback. And I'll say this: Goff looked like awful last week. I got to watch him play, but he still ended up putting up points, and it was because of garbage time. So it's not a bad deal at all. Yeah, I like it.
He's a lame duck QB, but he's got some value this year. So
right. And then like we were talking earlier about J.K. Dobbins, hope that he has a week or two where he hits, and then just move him.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta hide it.
Yeah, you gotta hide it.
Oh crap.
We have 11 more starred. Let's knock them out in the next 9 minutes. If you want to drive, Clay, you'll keep us on track. Otherwise, Shane and I, there's a reason we say roster reviews are going to go at 20 minutes and they go 35.
Yep, no problem. Okay, I'm on it. All right, let's go. Anthony, boys, 12-team Superflex PPR start 10. Proposed to me giving CD Lamb, Kenny Gainwell, KJ Hamler a 23 first and a 23 second, getting Breece Hall, Jahan Dotson, Jerry Jeudy, and a projected early 23 second and a 24 second. I have two other 23 firsts. Okay, so giving Lamb, Gainwell, Hamler 23 first and second, getting Breece, Jahan Dotson, Jeudy, and an early second.
So the things that matter, it's CD Lamb and the 23 first. So for that, in essence, you're getting back Breece Hall, Jahan Dotson, Jerry Jeudy, and getting a second back.
An early 23 second, yeah.
Yeah, dude, smash that. Like, just punch the phone right now, accept.
Agree.
Yep. Okay. Let's bring up this next one here. Newsflash, 8-team Superflex, PPR, 1.5, tight end premium, start 14. Again, 8-team, yes, but at least you're starting 14. I know it still evens out to pretty shallow, but anyway, Justin Herbert and a 2023 late first for Jameson Williams, Breece Hall, Treylon Burks, a 2023 early second, and a 2023 early first.
There's a lot going on here. I mean, if you just think through the fact that the 8-team scarcity, it's going to matter have the positional advantage with Herbert. But I mean, he's getting Breece Hall. He's getting the early first, which, actually, if you hit on one of the elite running backs, it's more valuable here because it's a shallower league. And it's a start 14, and he's getting essentially what hoped to be, because an early second, honestly, could be still a usable player. So it's basically a 5 for 2. I don't hate this. I don't hate it. Normally, I'd say don't trade Herbert, but I don't hate it.
So if you're watching, there's a couple of rosters that we did where literally Herbert might have been the only usable asset, and this is the kind of deal I would make if that was the case. If it's one of those teams where I literally have 3 usable assets, I'll make this deal because this is how you can rebuild a roster that just basically has no other outs.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna hide this current comment here, but also, so I told this guy on Twitter that I was gonna talk about his trade. So it sounds like he was already going to hit the accept because the offer got sweetened. But let me bring up the first one. So it involves Kyle Pitts and 23 firsts. He was like, I bet you'll like this one. He was offered 2 23 firsts, one of those very, very likely a top 2 pick. a 25 first, and Dalton Schultz for his Kyle Pitts.
A 20. I'm sorry. Did
Two
you say
23
25
first.
first. Shane just lost it right there.
Two 23 first, one of which he thinks is going to be top 2. Okay. And the other one's mid. And then Dalton Schultz and a 25 first or Kyle Pitts. It's a 12 team, half PPR, no tight end premium, super flex, start 9.
Look, I'm Kyle Pitts' girlfriend, but yeah, I got to trade Kyle Pitts away there.
I think the format, half PPR, no tight end premium, if that ends up being the 101, you slayed that trade. Even if it doesn't, I still like the flexibility of getting that high pick in that format, plus getting an extra 23 first. The 25 first and Dalton Schultz are just like, I'll park them on my roster and, they're there. But yeah, I like it. I like it.
So he ended up getting 3 23 firsts and Dalton Schultz for Kyle Pitts. So bravo, Kevin.
It pays to be prude sometimes. Like he probably just was like, "Nah, I'm good." And the guy goes, another first. Sure.
Here, I'll turn the 25 into a 23. Will that do it? It's like, yes, that will.
So here's the thing, though. You have someone on the line when they start doing things like that, right? Like you just went earlier. I just went through that whole spiel of, well, if this doesn't work, then I'm doing this. If this doesn't work, then I'm doing this. And you know that most people, that's how they think. They go, what's the cheapest I can do this for? But if push comes to shove, yes, I will do this other deal. And if not, you can always go back to them and be like, let's try this again.
I mean, they're visualizing their lineup that has Kyle Pitts in it for this week, and it's like that first that's at the very bottom of the screen. They're probably like, I just don't see that every day, so it's not there,
Yep. Okay. Let me go back to the start ones. Jeffrey Jacobs, what is Brandon Cooks worth in picks to a contending team in a 12-team super flex PPR 1.5 tight end premium start 10?
More to your roster than probably someone will give you. If you could get a 24 first for Brandon Cooks, it's a smash. Yeah. The problem is he needs to smash before you can get firsts.
You're never going to get a first. It doesn't matter what Brandon Cooks does.
24, you don't think?
No, it does not matter. Brandon Cooks is perpetual. I will give you a second rounder. I will give you another second rounder, and he will continue to go out there and put up wide receiver 2 seasons until he's probably 75 years old, and no one will ever want to trade for him. He's always a fallback plan, and no one will ever give you a first one. Maybe you could do like 2 seconds in Brandon Cook and get a first back.
In my home league, the reigning champ did give up a 24 first for Brandon Cooks, but he slings first around. He never ever has first. He's one of those guys that just trades them all away.
Good for him.
Ryan, I recognize your name from the roster reviews as well. What's the best way to start rebuilding? Trade players for younger players? Trade players for picks? How should you go about successfully rebuilding? We'll definitely do a full show on this. But what are your thoughts, guys?
Ideally, you split assets and you try to trade for a player and a pick. I mean, how many times have we looked at, should I trade all the names we talked about earlier, Kupp, Adams, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs? I'm not targeting one single first because that's basically like a 50-50 proposition for me, even if it's a highly valued pick. But can I tier down and get, what was it, Jameson Williams and a 23 first for one of those receivers? Like, that's a sweet deal, and it probably helps the other team if they're willing to pay the price. But that's what it's got to be. We were talking about a deal trading Diggs away today. I was. It's got to be a first and a lesser receiver. Like, that's going to be the price. And not a lot of people pay it, but that's going to be the asking price.
Yeah, so, I mean, you want a mix of assets, right? If you're going to get picks, though, you need multiple picks. You prefer a player in picks. If it's going to be just players, you want multiple players. And obviously, it's going to depend on roster size and all those things. The bigger the starting lineup, the more players you want back, assets, etc. But it's always just going to be a mix of. And if people aren't willing to give you multiple picks, well, then, okay, can I get a pick and a player? If they don't want to do a pick and a player, all right, can I get 2 picks then? And that's when, especially in a rebuild too, is where you start asking for things that feel inconsequential to some people. And people joke about them all the time, like 3rd and 4th rounders. And I make fun of them too all the time because I'm like, they're worthless, except in trades. You know what I mean? You can use them in trades and you can use them, kick them down the can for when your team is good. and have them in your pockets for 2 years from now when you want to actually trade for running backs, or you can move around the rookie draft board if you're actually good at picking out players. So like Scott said, you want to give yourself as many options, as many outs as possible, so that you're not just making a 1-for-1 bet, because that's never what you want to do.
Yep. Kevin, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. I trade away Josh Allen. I get back a pair of 23 firsts, a 24 firsts, and Jared Goff. The 12-team tight end premium. My roster's in full rebuild mode.
No.
Full rebuild.
I'm not trading Josh Allen in a full rebuild.
Josh Allen is a great full rebuild piece too.
Okay, I'm just saying, look, I understand where you're coming from. I've done a roster review this week where I was advocating for trading away Justin Jefferson and Justin Herbert. So I can understand it if it's a full rebuild, because the way I'm looking at this is my team is an absolute dumpster fire. This is the only asset I have. I'm going to trade. I got to get those first, and I'm going to trade those for multiple assets. Like this, if it's a complete rebuild, I'm thinking this is a team that needs everything. And it's fun having Josh Allen. It really is. It's fun having Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, two top tier quarterbacks that drop 70 points a week on people. And then you look at the rest of your roster and they give you 30, and you go, well, that's not going to get it done.
I would just need a different piece than Jared Goff. I need a piece that's going to be around for longer than Jared.
I mean,
Goff.
I'm going to the
I hear you.
The Fields, Watson, or Dak team and seeing if they're willing to add. I mean, if I have one of those three, and I've probably invested a pretty high chunk of assets to get those guys, and I can turn it into Josh Allen, and all I have to give up is an extra 23 first or something like that. Like this is the type of deal that you do Watson and a 23 first for Josh Allen. And I think you guys, if you're a contending team, you would smash that trade, right? If you're getting Josh Allen. So I mean, that's where I go first.
Yeah,
this doesn't feel like enough, unfortunately.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Real quick, like police. How are we doing, Shane?
No. It was actually pretty good. It was up to like 130 a few minutes ago. So thank you.
Nice. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm proud of all of you. We did it together.
It's the easiest way to help us. Oh, I just got Ruben here. Ruben, what's up, buddy? 14 teams, start 9, 0.1 point per carry. So it's a tiered PPR. Start 1 RB. Who should I trade Najee for?
Nobody wants him, bro. I know that. I don't even carry in a PPC. I'm in a league with Ruben. It's a PPC, and I was trying to trade Najee Harris all summer. I couldn't even get CD Lamb for him straight up. So good luck with that is my only thing I'll even say to you.
I've got him in a league with all 4 of you guys, or all 4 of us rather, this same format. And yeah,
I'll tell you what, if I could get any of the
Lamb?
Yeah, if I could still get CD Lamb, who's down now, if I could get Elijah Moore, not Elijah Mitchell, make sure very big difference there. If I could get Elijah Moore, can I get Garrett Wilson? Can I get Treylon Burks? Like literally, I will take any of them for Najee. But if anyone's in the league listening to me right now, you know what? Send the offer. It's done. I'm looking at all those rookies and second-year guys that hit a little bit last year.
Drake London would be where I would try to get.
I'd love to get Drake London. I don't know that you could, but I would love Drake London. Yep.
Okay. Let me add that one. Let's go to this one. Devin Morris, 12-team Superflex PPR, start 10. 4 point per pass touchdown. Should I trade my 23 early first, 23 late first, Jamison Williams, and Jared Goff for Justin Hebert?
Yes. This is one of those, it's start 10. You get Herbert at the cost of anything less than 4 first. I'm doing it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it, Devin.
Do it, Devin. All right. Let's do this one. Andrew, 12-team PPR, start 8, 1 QB. Would you trade Mike Williams for a 2023 mid-first?
No.
Yes.
Wait, I'm trading Mike Williams for.
He's getting rid of Mike Williams. Hell yeah.
Yes. Immediately. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes, we will trade it for any 23 first, right?
Yeah. He gone.
Yeah, he gone. Okay, Sean, 12-team Superflex, start 10. Tom Brady. Alvin Kamara, Zeke, Hopkins, Kelsey, or Javonte, Chris Godwin, and Devontae Smith.
This feels like it's like you run the nursing home and you're trying to like free up rooms. You know what I mean? So I don't hate this trade just because everything you're trading away literally has like a disease that nobody
bring
wants.
out your dead.
Except for Kelsey. Everything else you're trading away, it's like this might be the one person that actually would take them all. So I don't hate it. I don't mind doing this.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. Get rid of all those old people. Old people are disgusting. I mean, in real life and in fantasy football.
This is serious ages.
Shane's older than every one of those players in the trade.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the final three here. Eli Smith, 12 team, start 11, Superflex, PPR, got offered Akers, a mid 23 first, and a mid 23 second for Saquon on a win now team. I want to make the move, but I'm reluctant to give up Saquon if he smashes.
Look. So here's your risk tolerance. What more could you get for Saquon? Are you going to get an additional first, right? Because I don't think there's any realm, any sphere of the universe, any multiverse that someone's going to give it 3, right? So a reasonable outcome is, do you think you can get 223 first or a 20, just 2 first for him in general? Do you think you can make that happen? And if you're willing to risk it, sure, hold on to them. I was in this position this week and said, okay, 23 first, he's gone. That's enough. And I know, like we talked about, trying to get multiple assets, but that's the best I could do. I was like, all right, I'm getting rid of the risk now. This isn't a team that I think is really going to win anyway. Yeah. He's gone. So me personally, I would take that deal.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I get it.
Yeah, I would too. We'll throw this up here. Kevin Cunningham, never get to listen live, but finally get to tonight. Appreciate you guys doing these consistently. Love listening. Keep doing what you're doing. Glad you could join us, man.
Thanks, Kevin.
Ramsey Kawaha. That's what we're saying tonight. Also, someone offered me Curtis Samuel and a 23 first for AJ Brown and a 23 second. I rejected it. Should I have 16 team PPR 1 QB start 8?
Yeah, 16 team 1 QB. That the first could be a just complete dud, so it doesn't hold the same weight as it would in a 12 team Superflex start 11 or something like that. So yeah, good job rejecting this. That's a trade where they're trying to hook you. They're trying to throw that first in there and make it look all nice and shiny, and really it could be, the 203 and a 1 QB, which is nothing. So yeah, not even close.
Guys, we are done. We are done. We always set these things up for an hour, and look at this. We're 97 minutes in. We still have 162 people in here.
Still here. A lot of questions we didn't even get to. So
there's a ton we didn't get to. There's a bunch that I had in the hopper from the community tab post that I didn't get to. So our apologies for that. We'll make it up to you. Guys, you want to say anything before we leave?
Man, we just appreciate everybody watching, everybody commenting, everybody liking. And I was just going to note, look, if we didn't get to your questions, just know that we all check out the comments for different reasons. I'm a narcissist and I just want to see if people say nice things about me. But I also, I'll check out the trades too and respond on those. So no, we just appreciate everybody watching the show. Hey, and go buy Manscaped and use promo code
Trades in 5.
Trades in 5. I guess I won't get to share a story tonight, but let's just say I had a date this week and it was a good thing I manscaped.
Fire finish.
Shane's ready for the ad plug and then he doesn't even know the code.
Doesn't he? Yeah, I know. He never knows the code, even on his own national podcast. Yeah, it's Trades in 5. And I just had up there, follow us on the socials. But Scott, go ahead. Final words.
I didn't even know we had a Facebook, so that's good to know.
Yes, we do.
No, but appreciate everybody listening. It's been awesome. We're almost, I won't spoil it, but we're almost to a year of when we launched Trades in 5 too. So it's been crazy that it's gotten to this point where we have this many viewers that are watching the live stream, and literally like we could take questions for 4 hours. You know what I mean? We still wouldn't run out of them. I mean, it's insane. So just thanks to all the listeners that have followed us, that reach out to us. I know it's a lot of, we get a lot of questions, we get a lot of comments and stuff, but thank you to everybody.
Yeah, this is an awesome show, and we've got an awesome little community being built here. So thank you very much, guys. We will see you soon. Thanks.